Hey guys, in this short video I'm going to take you through how to move data from Landbot to to a LeadByte campaign. This should take no more than a few minutes. So our friends at Landbot have done a great job at making it super simple to do this, and it's using a webhook to do so. So if I jump straight into this, we go to our Landbot. I won't go through too much detail here, but we're essentially asking for name, email, phone, and off the back of that we then have a webhook that posts the responses, the data, to LeadByte. And under integrations, this is where you can add a webhook. So you just click on it and it adds a webhook here, and I'm just going to delete this one here. Right, so this is the webhook that I'm looking at. So the method is post. You need to enter in your LeadByte API, and I'll show you how to get that quickly, although you should know how to do that. The content type is JSON. This is the payload that I'm posting over to LeadByte. So I've got my key, I've got my campaign, I'm selecting the SID number 1 as default, and then I'm simply mapping here email and full name. So email comes from the email node in Landbot, and @name comes from the name node in Landbot. I've got some examples here to test the request itself, which is a great feature that they provide, and it remembers this so you don't have to keep entering it in. So if I click test request, this has come back as a duplicate. That's the response from LeadByte, but we'll get around that in a second. And then I've got some response route in here that takes me to a certain page. You do not need to, for LeadByte, you do not need to whitelist the Landbot's IPs, but you do have the facility to do that in LeadByte if you want to lock things down, which is always a good thing. So I'm going to click apply now, and I'm just going to take you through from LeadByte's perspective the campaign. So we've got a campaign called Landbot. I'm going to now generate the integration guide. So REST is what we're using. We select the campaign Landbot. I'm defaulting all of my leads from Landbot because I'm going to assume that I generate all my leads from Facebook, and therefore I want to tag it in LeadByte with Facebook. You'll get an integration guide by clicking on this button, but here is an example here. So there is the URL. That is the payload structure, but of course you need your key. So there's an example there of your key for this demo account anyway. So I then transfer that information to my webhook, and that's how I build the payload. So pretty straightforward. I then publish it, and I do a lead. So let's just quickly go through this now. So ant, it's going to do test123 at test.com. I don't believe we have any validation enabled, so it should go through. Okay, and there's a telephone number. The application is complete. There's a few more questions. Sure, no problem with me. Perfect, and that's all we need. Our team will contact you shortly. So we're now moved to LeadByte. What we should see is a fresh lead. So the time now is 9:46. It's 9:46, and here is my lead that's come in. So it's got all the information that I filled out that I need, and the information that I just want from Landbot. You can, within Landbot, pass over additional information, so you can build out your variables here. So for example, I may decide that I want the URL or the browser, the device information, and you can select these informations, and so long as you're mapping it correctly to LeadByte, you can have that. So for example, if I just quickly build this one out for you now, make sure the JSON is correct. That is, I would do something like this, OS, and I might pass that to the field C1 in LeadByte, and then that will start passing in that operating system. So that's how you integrate Landbot using a webhook into LeadByte. You need to make sure that you are on the you have a premium account with Landbot. Any questions, do raise a support ticket, but thank you to our friends at Landbot. I think you've built a great system, and you make it super simple to move data from Landbot to LeadByte.